We're here joined by Polman, the Chief Executive Officer of Unilever. You're the head of such a large company. How does Smallness relate to you, and what does it mean to you?
Well, Smallness has many dimensions. First of all, we're trying to cater to each and every individual out there and serve their needs. Increasingly more possible with technology. So smallness means taking each consumer into account, solving the issues locally. There is no global consumer, there is no global solution, increasingly so. The other dimension of smallness is how you run a company. When you have a company like ours with the size and scale of Unilever in 190 countries reaching 2 billion consumers a day, you have to stay small and nimble. You have to use your skill to competitive advantage, and that can only be done if you stay humble and if you stay small in the way you operate with speed and efficiency. So that's another dimension on smallness. And the third dimension on smallness is really the role we play in the global economy. Whilst we are a big company, we have to be very mindful that we are one of many, and we need to use our joint efforts to change this world for a better world for all. And we're happy to play a part in that, but it's always sometimes good to remind everybody that the world doesn't turn around us.
That's indeed the case. And Unilever has a sustainable living plan. However, we all know that sustainability often plays a subordinate role in many companies. And how do you think the situation will be in the future?
Well, I think first of all for us, our Unilever Sustainable Living Plan, which talks about decoupling growth from environmental impact, increasing the overall social impact, is our business model. And increasingly I think companies are starting to internalize that into their models as well. One of the reasons for that is that we're hitting planetary boundaries like climate change, like the resource scarcity, and companies are seeing the cost on that. More companies are starting to call for a price on carbon. More companies are starting to deal with these resource scarcity issues, looking at different consumption models for one simple reason. The humanitarian reason on one side to make a more inclusive economy, but on the other side the cost of inaction is starting to be higher than the cost of action. So I'm very positive on the sustainability. The other reason I'm positive is about the young. In the emerging markets, where you will have soon 80% of the world population, half of them being below 25 years old, they do care about a better future. They don't only want to be part of it, they want to help shape it. And they understand very well that it has to be a more equitable and sustainable model.
Yes, that's indeed the case. And regarding branding, in recent years one has come across the brand name Unilever much more. Before we often saw that you focus more on the various sub-brands, and now we wonder, why do you focus less on the proudly small than on the proudly big entity now?
No, because Unilever is proudly small as well. We're a small grocery store trying to make a living as well, as I just explained. But it is very important in terms of society right now. One of the missing factors is trust. And what we are trying to do with the Unilever brand obviously is live it through our brands. They continue to be very important, but then also use Unilever itself, its size and scale, to make some transformative changes. Be it on deforestation and getting out of deforestation, which is a big issue in global warming, creating jobs for smallholder farmers, driving the water sanitation and hygiene programs higher in this world. And for that you need corporate scale to create these tipping points, whilst brands, and especially brands with a purpose, have a more specific role depending on each of the brands.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.